All right, for these rear brackets here, you're going to reuse roll cage bolts. There's two size roll cage bolts. You're going to reuse the longer bolt, and you're going to put two of them here in your cage. I've already got one in. The bottom one's going to go right here. And then this bracket, it replaces the old L bracket, the right angle that used to be here. And this bracket comes with the kit. You're also going to reuse your door latch, your striker here. It was removed from the front section, and you're going to reuse that back on your rear door. Alright, we're installing the passenger side doors from UTV Giant, the XP1000 doors. I've got my doors laid out here already on the ground. Hardware. First couple things I'm going to tell you is your front door striker plate stays where it's at. You don't mess with that at all. On your rear, you're going to remove the striker plate from here. You take your factory one, you reuse it, and you're going to move it to the back. And it's going to be for your back door. The back door is now open like a standard car door, and your front door is still going to be a suicide door. Okay, so here's your front door bracket. Big side up, little side. Your two holes are going to go forward. Two holes are going to face forward here. Bolt with a washer on top. One inside. Out the bottom here. Okay, so two holes facing forward. You're going to do this on both sides. You can go ahead and cinch these bolts down all the way. You're going to want to keep your other bolts loose, but you're going to get this bracket set up first. Next thing I did is I removed the striker latch from here, the stock striker latch. You're reusing it. You attach this bracket, this comes in the kit, into your roll cage. Smooth side out. You're going to attach your striker here, but keep it loose because you need to adjust this for fitting on the door. So just throw it in there for now. You're going to use the provided new Allens right here. And you're going to use brass nuts and washers on the back side there. For these bolts, we reused roll cage bolts from the original cage. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to take this next bracket. These only go one way. You're going to mirror it on both sides. So you're going to have your four holes facing out towards you. These front two holes, we're going to line up with our front two holes of the bracket we just installed. So it's going to come up here on the front. Follow those angles. Okay, this is your passenger side. Your right side, your driver's side there. On the other side is the driver's side. That one is going to have the same bracket mirrored. So you're going to assemble it the same way, just mirrored on the other side. Okay, the bolts that attach this bracket, upper and lower, are going to be the longer, looks like grade 8, they're going to be the longer bolts in your kit that are brass colored. Kit comes with 4 of them. That's where all 4 of them go. Here, and on the driver's side as well. The smaller brass bolts, we're going to put bolt and washer on. It's going to come through here. and we're going to assemble it on the backside with nuts. Okay, so I barely snugged these up. I found on the other side I was having trouble with fitment issues. So what I did is I pushed this bracket all the way down when I installed it, and I pulled it all the way out. So it's pulled out as far as it can go, and then you tighten it down. So we're pulling this out and low in the bolt holes, and that's what you're going to find is going to help you get it fitted properly. Another part you're going to reuse from your factory doors is going to be the latching mechanism that you're going to pull it out with the two stars, the two Torx bits there. You're going to pull the factory latch system out with the two Torx. You're going to reinstall it on your new doors, and you're going to do that loose. Alright, so what you're going to do is you're going to take your door, you're going to latch it. Everything's loose on here. Remember, you're going to latch it onto itself right now, and it's going to hang here. You're going to line it up so you can install your door here. No washer on the front of this one. On the back side, you're going to go washer and nut. And we're just loosely threading these on. These are nylon nuts, so just go until it catches. And we've done this loose now, so it's just hanging. It's getting our fitment. Okay, rear door is hanging and latching on its own. Everything is cinched up. We'll touch it up. We'll touch it up in a little bit after we do the front door so we can get everything lined up. I'm going to do the same thing on the front that I did on the rear, which is I'm going to hang it by the front latch. Get my spacing, and then I'm going to add my rear bolts in to hold it. Again, I'm not going to use a washer on the front. I'm going to use a washer on the back, and then the nut. We're just going to do this loose at first to hold it in place. I think their idea of not putting a washer on the front was that these bolts were going to be so tight to the frame that you wouldn't need to put a wrench on it on this side. They would just hold themselves in place. You could tighten from the rear with a socket, but that is not the case. These bolts just spin when you try and do that. Yeah, these ones are a little trickier once you got your second door on, so what I do is I take my box wrench here and I just hold it straight in on the bolt, come from the back, hit the nut with a socket. And I'm just going to snug these, I'm not going to tighten them. I'm just going to snug them into place so I can start getting my lines together and seeing how this thing's going to lay. Careful not to hit your body panels here with your wrench. You don't want to ruin them your first day. Alright, everything's fitting together pretty good. I still need to go and cinch everything down. When I was in my front door here, I just took a socket and ratchet and I stuck it under the framing tube here as a spacer. So basically it shimmed my door up. After I did that, I tightened my rear bolts here. Cinched those up, and now I'm making all my final touches. Once you do that, you can actually take your shim out, and it gives you a pretty good level on the door, and then you tighten up your hardware to fit and finish everything, make it fit together right. Okay, a couple notes. This 90-degree right angle piece that is originally on your RZR right here, you are not using now. This goes away and is replaced by the new rear door latch mechanism. This vanity plate that you remove for your seat belts and to get to the bolts, it goes here. Also not being used. Get rid of it. It used to go here. No longer goes there. And the last thing you're going to do is you're going to tighten everything up once it all fits. I'm going to start from the rear and go forward. So I'm going to tighten these guys up. I'm going to come in. I'm going to tighten these two bolts up. I'm going to tighten our striker brackets here. I'm going to come around the front. I'm going to tighten all of our bolts up in here, holding the doors on. So you're going to, everything we just did, you're going to tighten it and do it methodically, otherwise you're going to forget something. But the key is you need to make sure everything's nice and tight.